Welcome back, everyone. So, I went back in time a little bit because I accidentally clicked through that one message that Helen Back, aka Mom, said when we gave her the wrong medication. So, let's go ahead and quickly just review what she says if you give her the wrong thing. I've deliberately made another not quite accurate prescription for her. So let's go ahead and just click through that, and actually, if you click the right mouse button, as I just did, it usually skips an entire conversation, or at least an entire string of dialog boxes. Okay, so where did we leave off? I clicked through... Okay, so she says, and it died, and then...
Obviously, this is not fit for consumption. Now take back my prescription and get it right this time, or you'll feel the wrath of my handbag.
There you go, that's what we missed. So, I guess that's all. I think I've mentioned it before, I really do find it annoying the way the game automatically goes through text boxes after it thinks you've had enough time to read it. I guess for some people maybe it's okay, maybe some people actually like that kind of thing, but I really wish there was a way to turn it off. And as far as I know, there isn't. There's this text slider here that you can use to... If you drag it all the way down, as I have, then that increases the amount of time that text remains on the screen, but it doesn't actually... What I'd really like is just a way to turn that off altogether and provide a way to just wait until the user clicks through a message, but nope, that's not an option. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and go back to here. This is where we left off last time. We had just gotten a prescription from Sadie Ovary. And, yeah, and the problem was the prescription is illegible. Prescription is impossible to read. Now, when I first played this game as a kid, when I was like 10 years old or a little bit more than that, I actually figured this out by reading the manual. So if we come back here to our modern-day Book of Health and Hygiene, I actually read through pretty much this whole thing. I don't know if I read every single word diligently, but I did sort of glance through it and read most of these things. And you'll notice here, if you look on the right-hand side there, second from the, kind of in the middle there, second from the top and bottom, I guess, there's a thing called estrosterane. I guess that's kind of a take on estrogen. I don't think estrosterane really exists in real life, but I think it's kind of meant to sound like estrogen. And if you read it, it says, can be used to prevent conception after marital relations. Now, I think when I was a kid, I didn't really understand what conception meant, but I sort of had an idea that it was, well, obviously it's birth control. I mean, that's basically what it's saying. And I knew what birth control was. I didn't really understand what conception was, and I think I only vaguely had an idea of what they meant by marital relations. Kind of ironic that, I mean, it says marital relations here, even though obviously we've been prescribed to give this to a prostitute, which is a little bit, I don't know if I should say ironic, but kind of amusing. But anyway, so that was how I did it as a kid. I just sort of guessed that was what I was supposed to make for her, and it was correct. And I just assumed that that was the correct solution to the puzzle, that you just kind of look in the manual and find out, oh, hey, estrosterane, of course, it's birth control. That obviously must be what we're supposed to make and give her. And the fact that there's a recipe for it, grind 15 grams of bimethyl, blah, 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 etc. The fact that there's a recipe for it in the manual is kind of a dead giveaway that you're supposed to make it, because most of the things listed here in the manual, I mean, if you go paging through the manual, most of the things here don't have a recipe, like a way to actually mix them. And so if they actually bothered putting that in the manual, that's sort of a clue that you're supposed to do that. So I thought, okay, that's kind of a dead giveaway, right? And so I tried it and it worked. So you can do that. We can make estrosterane for Sadie Ovary, and it will work. We'll get the points for making the correct prescription and giving it to her, and the game will continue on, and we won't be penalized for it or anything like that. But there is a better way, and I say better because we get more points for doing it. So let's go ahead and come back here to the game. What you can do, what might seem logical to do... Excuse me, Sadie, I've got to run out for a bit. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay, Freddy, but hurry back.
I tend to voice the characters in this game with a sort of a southern accent because I assume that's probably close to an old western accent, although maybe it's not. And oh look, we have a different Indian. It's Herbert, one of your part-time employees. Herbert spent the past 5 years as a security guard at F.W. Fleeceworth's in Utica? Is that Utica or Utica, New York? They downsized, so Herbert moved out west to be closer to his family. You took a chance in hiring him, figuring that as a security guard he was perfectly qualified to stand around for hours and hours without doing anything productive. Turns out he's overqualified. Let's talk to him. Herbert, how's it hanging?
As usual, Mr. Pharkas. Permission to speak freely?
Of course.
I've had an offer from a bank in Scottsdale. They'd like me to stand inside the lobby and hold checking account brochures.
How much are they offering you?
5 cents a day, plus a commission on the brochures.
Let me look at the books and we'll talk in a couple days. I don't want to lose you.
Thank you, Mr. Pharkas. I don't want to lose you either.
I actually don't know what the significance of all that is, because we actually don't have anything to do with that. There's really nothing we can do with these guys. Let's take a look at this guy. This is Old Pete. He's been around since the gold was here. He and Willie are the only two codgers left. I guess this game is slightly post-Gold Rush. Post-Californian Gold Rush.
Now, don't you try it. I'm right ticklish. Well, by gum. How you doing, young feller, by gum? Nice to see you, by gum.
Hey, old-timer. Ain't seen you around in a dog's age. What are you up to these days?
What does it look like I'm doing, by gum? I'm trying to sell gum! Damn idiot.
I don't know what an idiot is, actually, but I assume it's meant to be something derogatory, so let's just ignore that. We click the hand on this guy.
We've spoken about this before, Mr. Pharkas. If you keep touching me, I'll have to speak up if you ever run for office.
I don't really know what the significance of that is, because I don't think we'll ever see this guy again after this section of the game, and we don't really do anything with regard to trying to retain him as an employee, so don't really know what that's about. Anyway, what I was saying is a logical thing to do, I guess, is to come here to the saloon and talk to the doc, since he's probably still sitting here. Oh! Oh, boy. The music, I paused so that you can hear the music. The music is a medley of the famous Can-Can melody. With, of course, Mary Had a Little Lamb. The joke here is that these sheep are Can-Can dancers. There's a sort of element of sexualization of sheep in this game, because I guess the joke is that people in the Old West didn't necessarily have a lot of women to have marital relations with, and so they often used sheep as substitutes. And yeah, here's obviously, because, you know, the Can-Can dance sort of has a history of being something quasi-sexual, even though it's not overtly sexual. The way that the women kick up their legs is typically meant to sort of be titillating, I guess. And so the fact that they have sheep here doing this is kind of a joke. It's Barbara Mandrill and the Barbettes, stars of stage, screen, and barnyard. Don't touch them, you'll throw off their timing. Besides, the lanolin will make your hands soft and squishy like a girl's. Don't know if you could hear that. The voice is a little bit quiet, but if you try to talk to them, you hear a voice saying, "Shear it off! Shear it all off!" Okay, I think we've spent enough time on that. That is just sort of a bit of a rather naughty sort of joke that they just put into the game for no apparent reason. Anyway, I came here to talk to the doctor. Let's show him the prescription and see if he has anything to say about this.
I can't read this so good. Must be something wrong with my eyes.
Now, the doctor can't read his own handwriting. Why do you suppose that would be? Why? I mean, we presumed that the reason why the prescription is blurry is because he was drunk while reading it. Is he sobering up now, or was there something else impeding his vision? Well, since we have the whiskey glass, it's probably not that hard to figure out that you're supposed to use the whiskey glass with the prescription. and you end up getting this. You end up being able to... Basically, the joke is that it's blurry because he was actually viewing it through the bottom of his whiskey glass as he wrote out the prescription. So, if you have the whiskey glass, this is probably not that difficult to figure out. I never figured this out simply because I didn't realize that you could take the doctor's whiskey glass. When you actually see it at first in the game, it's just such a tiny little thing. It's like I think 2 or 3 pixel square, and I just didn't think that it would be something that you could actually interact with. And of course, you saw in the first video, if you click the hand icon on it, then you just pick it up, and it becomes an inventory item, but I never really thought to pick it up. And so I never did this. I never actually came up with this solution, just because if I'd had the whiskey glass, this probably would be a pretty obvious thing to do, but I didn't realize that you could actually take the glass and use it as sort of a... Not exactly a magnifying glass, although it seems to be acting as sort of a magnifying glass here as well. So anyway, all right, so here with this whiskey glass bottom, we can now read what's actually written. So this is to Madame Ovary, and the name of the drug is testosterate, 25 milligrams per day, as directed. Signed, Doc Gillespie. Now, if we come back here to the Modern Day Book of Health and Hygiene, this does also have an entry for testosterate. Yeah, there it is, lower left. And without even reading anything about it, you can probably figure out that it's meant to sound like testosterone, which of course is the male sexual hormone, the male equivalent of, the masculine equivalent of estrogen. And it says there, 5 milliliters of testosterate administered orally twice daily will add masculinity to the lightest male. Now you might think, wait, what the heck? Why is this prescribed to Sadie Ovary? Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. And then you might suppose, well, maybe she is having a sex change. I actually joked, I think, in the previous video, is she going through a trans, like a trans operation? But maybe she is. Maybe that's part of the whole deal. So, now you can see this prescription the way Doc wrote it. Well, okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens if we make testosterate for Sadie. Let's go back to our pharmacy, and I'm back, Sadie. Sorry for the delay. I just had to check a few things out.
Perfectly okay, Freddy hon. I was just admiring the way you display your goods.
Look who's talking. Yes, that is a rather obvious joke, isn't it? Alright, so let's go ahead and try making some testosterate. You were so clever to use Doc's whiskey glass to read Madame Overly's prescription. Now you prepare to carefully fill it. Alright, let's see. Let's go back here for just a sec. Testosterate. So, combine 10 milliliters of phenolphthalein. Wow, okay, 10 milliliters of phenolphthalein. Let's see, where is it? That's something else. It's phenidol oxytriglychlorate. There we go. Phenolphthalein. There we go. So we needed 10 milliliters of that. Okay. Oops. If you try to put these back in the wrong place, like I tried to put this here by accident, it automatically goes up to the quote-unquote correct spot for that. So, all right, so we've got 10 milliliters of, and we want 30 grams of enteramagnaline. Okay, where's enteramagnaline? Here we go. 30 grams. 30 grams of that. Okay, so we've got 10 milliliters of that, 30 grams of that. What is next? Combine them in a beaker and bring to a boil. Okay, we'll need to boil this. All right, so let's go ahead and take our beaker, that's this thing here. Whoops. Dump that into the beaker. Dump that into the beaker, and we need to bring this to a boil. For that, we need to use this this elixir. This elixir is the only really alcoholic thing that we have in our inventory, and we need to dump this into the alcohol lamp to in order to light it. Let's see. Just before I do that, let me try using it on all the things in the inventory just to see if there's any funny messages. Just because I want to see if I can get any funny messages out of it before we get rid of it. Don't know what this thing about the dead end kids is. If anybody knows what that's about, feel free to let me know. Okay, I don't think any of those were particularly funny, so let's go ahead and dip it in the alcohol lamp. You fill the alcohol lamp with the alcoholic elixir, and now we can light it using the matches. There we go. And then put the beaker on this. The chemical warms slowly over the alcohol lamp. Now it's getting pretty hot. Good thing your calluses are thick. The chemical rapidly reaches a full rolling boil. Alright, let's put that down, and I guess we can... There you go. Lick your fingers and pinch out the alcohol lamp's flame. Okay, so we brought it to boil over a flame. Feels kind of like we're playing King's Quest 3, doesn't it? All those magic spells they had to concoct in King's Quest 3. Alright, so we brought it to a boil, allowed to cool ever so slowly before adding 5 grams of reserpicline oxide? Okay, where's reserpicline oxide? There we go, reserpicline oxide. So let's go ahead and take 5 grams of that. Put that in there. And... dilute with enough nitroglycerin. Wait, is that nitroglycerin? No, nitralahocylene to make 75 milliliters of testosterate. Stir. Okay, so we need to add enough nitrahocylene to make 75 milliliters. So where's the nitrous? Here we go. So we already have 45 milliliters. We need to add 30 to make it 75. So let's go ahead and add 30. There we go. There's 30. Put that in there. And now that we have 75, is that it? Was there anything else? No. Stir and pour into medicine bottle and cork. Okay. Take a stirring rod, stir it, toss it away, put it into a medicine bottle, and put a cork on it. Alright. You carefully label the container, Madame Bovary. Alright. There we go. We've made some testosterate for Sadie. Let's see what happens if we give it to her.
Thank you, Freddy dear.
That's going to be 22 cents, Sadie. But for you, I'll make it 19.
What do you say we just sort of take it out in trade, Freddy? I'm a mite short this week.
Well...
Thank you, Freddy. You're a lambkins. Catch you tonight, maybe? Ta-ta.
A short while later...
Freddy Sweetums?
Sadie, I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon.
I hate to tell you, but one of the girls tried to smidge of this just for fun. Now she's got a goatee. Can you figure out why this stuff seems to decrease womanliness rather than increase it?
That's a tough one. I'll do what I can, though. You reclaim the prescription from Madame Bovary. Okay, so clearly giving her testosterate is the wrong thing. And just for giggles, let's go ahead and quickly make something completely wrong. I'll just dump some random chemical into here and prescribe her that and see what happens when we do this. Once again, you don't get punished in any way, apparently, for giving them the wrong prescription. So let's give her something completely wrong and just skip through that, and let's see what she says this time.
Oh, Freddy.
Sadie, back so soon?
I hate to say this, but one of the girls tried to swig of this. Now I'm down one girl. I'll have to send out to St. Louis for another. Would you mind very much looking at this and seeing what's up, honey?
Very strange. Okay, I'll give it another try. Don't know what went wrong. So, yes, I don't know why every time we give the wrong prescription to one of these people, they just sort of happen to give it to somebody else. Sadie just gives a little swig, just a tiny little sip to one of her working girls. Helen Back gave it to one of her pets, somehow accidentally. Oh, this is something that happens sometime. People get thrown out of the windows of this saloon. Poor fellow, doesn't pay to pick a fight with Sam Andreas. You'd like to help him, but he is full of shards of glass, and you hate the sight of blood. No use talking to me, he's out cold. What about his hat? Oh, his hat is part of the same Sprite, apparently. We cannot do anything with this guy. This is another just random thing which happens for no reason. The window's been smashed into teeny tiny pieces. Fortunately, Sam has the foresight to install safety glass. Yeah, this happens periodically, and there's nothing to do with the game. It's just a random event. So, anyway, oh, it's the sheep again. This is also a random thing. Every time you come to the saloon, there's a random piece of music that's playing. I think there are something like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 different pieces of music that this guy can play. And if it just happens to be this one, then you see the sheep dancing, but it's not necessarily the sheep. Like, if we go outside and go back in, yeah, music's random. So, anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Doc about this. Since that testosterone appears to be very definitely the wrong thing, let's get a second opinion. You thrust the prescription in the whiskey glass under Doc's nose. Hey, Doc, this says testosterate. You really want to prescribe this to a woman?
Testosterate? No, I suppose that would be a poor choice. Let's see, this was for Sadie Ovary, right? I must have meant something else.
Doc scribbles a correction on the prescription and hands it back to you.
Here you go. Take this back to your pharmacy and have fun.
Thanks, Doc.
And don't come crying at me, George Bailey. I'm gonna swear out a warrant for your arrest.
Alright. I think we are done with that. So let's... Oh, and here you see this window repairman. Oh, I think this is the same guy who we saw nailing the boards to that. Yeah, he's the same guy who was nailing that closed sign to the hotel. Poor Sam Andreas. It's a good thing he waters down his whiskey so much or else all his profits would be consumed by glaziers, because people keep getting thrown out of that window a lot. I'd like to shake your hand, Billy. You're doing a fine job. Looks at you a little funny. Don't you find it frustrating to keep replacing that plate glass, Billy?
Nope, I find it a real crack-up.
Alright. Well, now that we finally have an amended prescription from the doctor...
How?
Yeah. Time for you shift over.
Oh, please. You've been reading too many dime novels. Stop talking like that.
Just trying to please the tourists, Herb.
Sure, tourists, whatever. See you later. I'm gonna go soak my corns.
My people call it maize.
Sheesh.
We have another Native American to talk to. This is Pete, another one of our part-time employees. Pete used to work for a lawn jockey company, but he was fired after puberty and he grew too tall for the business. He's insecure, but a good worker. How goes it, Pete? Just fine, Mr. Pharkas, just fine. Sure is a nice day today. Yes, Pete, it's beautiful out. I was wondering if it might be possible for me to knock off a little early today. Something in particular going on? Well, it's just such a nice day. I thought I'd spend a little quality time with the buffalo. Maybe take him to Yosemite, let him run around and do some grazing. You know, the usual. I suppose that'd be okay. Sure, you can leave early. Just watch out for poachers now. Heh. That's a funny one, Mr. Pharkas. I'll be sure to do that. Poachers! Like anyone would want to do that to buffalo. Heh. What's the matter? Did I do something wrong? No, Pete. I was just picking a hair off your outfit. Oh, yeah, my buffalo is shedding again. Happens every spring. The TP's a mess. Alright. Anyway. Let's go ahead and try this one more time. So let's take a look at the amended prescription, even though we already know what we're supposed to do. Madame Aurie's prescription, fully amended and corrected by Doc Gillespie. Madame Aurie estrostarine, 1 paper each morning after. Yes, it's a morning after medication. It's a, it's a morning after pill. So let's go ahead and come back to the Modern Day Book of Health and Hygiene and scroll up a little bit. And there we go, estrostarine. So first we want 15 grams of bimethylquinoline. Okay. Where's bimethylquinoline? There it is. And we wanted, wait, was it 15 grams, I think? I'm sorry, I'm so forgetful. I don't remember numbers very well. Yeah, 15 grams of this, and also 15 grams of powdered metyrophosphate. Okay, so 15 grams of both in a mortar. Okay, so where is metyrophosphate? There we go. So, 15 grams of this. Can I combine these in the balance? Oh, no, you can't mix chemicals in the balance. Weigh one item at a time. Okay, so we can put this, whoops, we can put this away, and we want to use the mortar and pestle for this, so put that in the mortar and pestle, and then another 15 grams of this, and put that in the mortar and pestle, and grind it up. There we go. Okay, now that we've done that, so we want 5-gram dosages. Okay, prepare 5-gram dosages on pure sheets of medicinal dispensing paper. Alright, and makes 1 box of 6. So let's do this. This is our 5-gram measuring spatula, and here are our medicinal papers. So hold on, let's put these things a little bit to the side. And I guess you can do these one at a time, but let's go ahead and be really efficient and lay out 6 medicinal papers, like so. Almost like this was an assembly line or something. And let's go ahead and just scoop these out one at a time. So here we go. Here's 5 grams of this. Put that there. Another 5 grams. Put it there. 5 grams there. 5 grams there. There. And finally, there. Okay, we can put these away. And I guess we just take a prescription box now and just put all these papers in the box. There we go. That should be it. Let's go ahead and we have this different icon now. Instead of a bottle, it's a prescription box, but alright. I don't know if I read that joke. It's not even really a joke. I guess there's a truth to it, but it says pharmacology is an art, not an exact science. I guess it's kind of true because they do call it the medical arts, don't they? Alright, let's go ahead and give this to Sadie. Score! Okay, that means we know we got it right. And they go through the same dialogue as last time. Okay. Done with that. Let's see what happens now.
Hey, Pharkas! My butt's killing me!
He really knows how to make an entrance, doesn't he? Sorry to hear that, Smithy.
Yeah, so give me some of that preparation G.
Alright, we can just go ahead and give it to Smithy, but before I give away my preparation G, I would like to try giving it to various other people around the town just to see the funny responses we get from them, since we're not going to have any more after this. So let's go ahead and quickly run out. I'll be back in a minute, Smithy. Hang in there.
You dang well better be, Pharkas. These piles are killing me. I'm fixing to nail someone to a wall unless I get some relief, damn it.
Alright, let's go ahead and give the preparation G to various people. That's an extremely nice offer, sir. But I've already got one. Are you sure? Oh, yes, it's very nice. Okay. I think that's just a generic response. He probably gives the same response to anything. Yes, he does. Yeah, alright. Well, let's see what Penelope says. I'm sure Penelope will be very honored by our romantic offer of hemorrhoid cream. Because what says love like giving your girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other a tube of hemorrhoid ointment? As soon as she comes out, there she is. Let's go ahead and get it ready.
Are you insinuating that I might have a need for such a...
No, no, no. I was just thinking, this is something I have in the store, see?
Frederick, have you been out in the sun too long? Perhaps you should go back into the store and attend to your customers.
Yes, I'll do that. Thanks. Well, that was awkward. Let's see, what does the sheriff have to say? Need anything for your piles, Sheriff?
If I wanted something from piles, I'd come into your store and ask you for something. Which reminds me, I'll be paying you a visit shortly. You best be in when I gets there.
Certainly, Sheriff. Anything to help?
It's what you say now. Ha ha ha!
Alright, moving right along. I'm sure Salvatore will have some brilliant response. That's a nice offer, Freddy, but my hammers aren't roiding. Okay, that was not as funny as I was hoping, but that's okay.
That stuff don't do me any good. My hemorrhoids are too far gone for that, pap. Little bit of horse glue, though, and I'm back in the saddle again.
Oh, dear, that's... Okay, let's just forget that happened and move on. Let's go ahead and come in here. Oh, I can go in Mom's Cafe as well. Alright, what does Sam Andreas have to say? No thanks, Freddy. But hey, if you get in any of that dissolve a goiter, my mom could use some.
What's that?
Preparation G. It's an anti-hemorrhoidal ointment.
Well, I don't need it. I'm sitting on a donut.
That is also slightly off-color, but that's okay. This game has a bit of off-color humor in case you folks haven't noticed by now.
My backside is scarcely in need of lubrication. Honestly.
Okay.
Hopsing fitus fido, not needing nostrums.
Okay, I think that's it. I think all that's left is the, oh, let's go to this woman. She casts her eyes downward as if to indicate that she's too shy to accept such a gracious offer. Whoops. Isn't that endearing? Wait, who is this woman? I'm a flirt, the lunchroom lady. Of course, since the schoolhouse only consists of one room, there's not much for Ima to do but waltz around town waiting for someone to build a cafeteria. Nice work if you can get it.
Oh, right here? In front of everyone?
I suppose that would be indiscreet. Meet me in the parking lot after the game.
Okay. Ma, you're cute.
Howdy, ma'am. She smiles at you. If your heart didn't already belong to Penelope, you might be tempted to ask her to join you for a glass of sarsaparilla. Alright, let's finish off here in the bank and give this preparation G to pH balance. My anus sphincter is in perfect health, thank you very much. I move my bowels twice a day and never strain. What's more, I find your offer most distasteful. Alright, well, oh, here's another woman. That's Mrs. Tucker, one of the respectable women of the town. Respectable meaning she doesn't sell it. As in she gives it away for free? Not sure what that means.
Please, do you always go shoving people?
I didn't shove you.
I accept your apology. Nice day, ain't it?
Alright. Well, not sure that sends a very positive message to the women of the world who might be watching this game, but, Hi, Smithy. I'm back. Everything okay?
No, everything's not okay. My tushy feels like I just sat on a branding iron. Now give me my soothing preparation G. I need my preparation G, Pharkas.
Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and give it to him. Let's get behind our counter so we can give this medication over the counter like a real professional. That's be 15 cents, Smithy, but I don't suppose you can pay me.
Are you saying I can't pay my bills fair and square, Pharkas? Here, I'm gonna settle up tabs with you anyway since I'm leaving town. Here's what I owes you.
Smithy pays you his tab. A whole $4.87. Holy moly, a windfall. You're rich. Well, kinda sorta. Actually, I guess that was quite a bit of money back in the day.
And if you takes my advice, you'll get out of this town, Pharkas. Sheriff's closing people up right and left. Something stinks. And I mean them horses, 'cause they's farting up a storm. I'm telling you, I always like to pass out. Somebody must have put something in their feed. And I don't know what, but I'll tell you, don't be striking no matches out there. Good luck to you, Pharkas. You was always one of the good uns.
Good luck to you, Smithy. Your strong back and gruff but good-hearted demeanor will be sorely missed.
You're a strange un, Pharkas.
I like the way he's actually clutching his buttocks as he walks. Oh, look who it is. It's the sheriff. Again, who is making good on his promise to visit us.
Fire inspection. I'm here to check out your fire safety per the new town regulations. Whoa! Good thing I came too. Pharkas, I'm gonna have to shut this place up tighter than a pissant scrotum.
But Sheriff, how could you? What's the charge? I haven't done anything wrong.
Fire hazard. Why, this building's a terrible fire hazard, Pharkas. I do believe this whole building's made out of wood.
But Sheriff, every building in this town is constructed of wood.
I don't know nothing about that, son. Tough luck, Pharkas. From now on, keep the front door locked.
But what am I supposed to do, Sheriff? This is my livelihood.
I'd talk to the bank if I was you. Good day.
Seriously? Just like that? Not even a... What about due cause and a fair trial and... Are you serious? That's it? Oh, Act 2. The plot sickens.
Yeah, I'm thinking the plot is sickening now, yeah? Ha ha ha. What are you thinking about? Ha ha ha.
So Freddy was forced to shut down the old pharmacy again in his will, but he vowed to keep the place up, knowing that someday he'd be opening it up again. Problem being, the sheriff, an ornery cuss if there ever was one, was doing this all over town. The hotel, the playhouse, the smithy, the tall and thin shop, closing them all down on some flimsy pretext. There was no telling who was going to be next. Who put the sheriff up to it? And what was happening with the horses, for crying out loud? It were a mystery, says I.
Well, let's go ahead and save the game here. Act 2. And yes, the plot thickens indeed. Well, sickens, but also thickens. What started off as a innocent, jocular sort of happy-go-lucky tale of a small-town pharmacist in the California West has become a sinister story of an apparent conspiracy to damage the local economy of Course Gold. So just what's going on with that? Why is the sheriff closing up these places? Surely there must be some kind of a deeper conspiracy going on. Look, there's a closed sign in our pharmacy now. It's the right pharmacy window. Yeah. And what's with these horses? It's somebody's poor horse. It seems to be dispelling huge quantities of a methane compound. Why are these horses suddenly here and flatulating so much? Nice horsey. You'd better be nice to the horsey. It has the power to cloud men's minds.
Hey, you're a pretty little pain, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. What a little cutie. I like you, horsey. I sure do. Can I take you home with me? Can I take you home with me? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
You need to get out more often, Freddy. I think does the other horse give the same messages? Yeah, I think so. I think there are other horses on other screens. Yeah, like here, for example. They all appear to give the same message. Okay. And there are some here. Oh, there's just one here. Alright. So, what's going on with the horses? Why are the horses doing this? Is there some kind of something going on? At this point in the game, by the way, the game starts becoming timed. I mentioned at the beginning, the first act is the only act where you really can freely explore the town and everything in it without having to worry about time constraints. At this point in time now, the game is now on a timer, and if you don't act quickly enough to resolve the problem with these horses flatulating, you will die of gas exposure, which I don't think is very realistic because it looks like we only have 5 horses, because over here... Well, there's still those horses there. I don't know if they're having the same problem, though. But I think it's just maybe around a half dozen horses in the town center. And I don't think... It doesn't really matter how much they flatulate. I don't think 5 horses could, in the open air, like in the outside, could make enough methane gas to kill people in the town since, well, you know, I mean, the fresh air and the wind would blow it away. But yeah, at this point in the game is now timed. We're going to have some situations, and all of them are on a timer, and if you don't resolve them quickly enough, you will die, or the town will be destroyed. So it's not like it's a hugely strenuous timer. When we have several minutes, it's not like we need to rush, but you can't take hours and hours to just walk around and look at everything now, because we do need to resolve this problem with the horses farting with some alacrity. So I'll go ahead and stop this video here, and in the next video we'll find out what we can do about a poot problem with the town's horses. I hope that I'll see you then, folks. Thanks for watching as always, and be well. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye for now.